Hello and welcome to Monday's Granada Reports.
Hello, thanks for joining us. Coming up on the programme.
How the Northwest celebrated as its heroes stepped out. Tonight, why they want us to really start believing.
We believe that, we can go on and win this tournament. 2 more games, 2 more wins, away from something very special.
Stars send kisses to Oldham Coliseum as it's announced the theatre will open again.
You're not going to believe it, but we found Ken.
The amazing moment when an 81-year-old superfan met Shania Twain. Ken's live with us on the programme.
The Pride of Chester taking an important message to the city streets.
And in the weather, I hope you made the most of the sunshine today because it looks like summer eludes us for the rest of the week. All the details coming up.
Well, we begin with those scenes of celebration around the Northwest as England reached the semi-finals of the European Football Championships.
Yeah, we were on the edge of our seats. It was tense viewing, wasn't it? At fan parks, pubs, in our homes, even at a music festival as the game went into extra time, and then to those terrifying penalties.
2 Northwest-based players then had a crucial part to play. Our top story tonight comes from our sports correspondent, Chris Hall.
From Liverpool to Lancashire. There's nothing like winning on penalties to unite the nation. But will the Netherlands wake us from dreamland?
We've got world-class players all over the pitch and, I think way more belief now than we ever have.
I love the pressure. I feel that I step up when the pressure's...
And if it goes to a shootout?
Here we go again.
I knew where I was going, knew what I wanted to do with it, and it was just about getting 2 more games, 2 more wins, away from something very special.
The win struck a chord at the Lytham Festival. A live rendition of a song synonymous with England penalty heartbreak, but this time lightning seeds didn't strike twice.
It was great with beautiful crowd, full, and everyone sang along and we all wished and wished and it came true. When you watch England, it tends to be relief rather than elation, doesn't it? So right now I'm relieved and then I'll quietly get elated at home.
Relief because England, whose form had been wobbly,
squeezing into the far post.
The ticker tape turned to tension. The last time England faced penalties, they'd lost the Euros final.
Joyous scenes here in the AO Arena, though I could tell you during that penalty shootout you could have cut the tension in here with a knife. Is this a fork in the road for England after all the negativity about their performances so far? Is there finally some belief to go with the relief?
We've got to go all the way. It's coming home. Come on, England.
The formation needs to change. It's not brilliant. It's still not great, but we've got to believe.
We've not played well really once this whole tournament, but we're here. We're in the semi-finals.
Southgate needs to do more, few changes. Other than that, I think it's coming home. I think it's coming home, baby. It's coming home. It's coming home.
And what's the atmosphere been like in it?
Wild.
Tell me about the emotions you went through during that.
I didn't watch a single penalty, mate. I can't watch it, mate.
Not everyone's getting carried away. The sceptics will say hopes are overinflated. But these are times when dreams and reality move tantalisingly closer together. Chris Hall, ITV News.
Football's coming home. Let's hope so.
Oh, yeah, let's hope so. We've got to go through it all again and again, I hope.
I know.
But as you say, it's the hope that kills you, isn't it?
Every time.
Ah, right. Well, next, after another momentous result, the region's MPs have been at Westminster to collect their new passes and they've been getting ready to be sworn in on Wednesday.
Yeah, Parliament doesn't open till tomorrow, but with so many new Labour members, they have opened early to help them settle and sort out their offices.
Yeah, and the new government has certainly hit the ground running. It's set an ambitious target to build 300,000 homes every year. Now, I was especially keen, apparently, to see progress on the Liverpool Central Dock scheme. That's part of Peel's Liverpool Waters project, which includes more than 2,000 homes and a 5-acre park.
We can cross live to our political correspondent, Elaine Wilcox. And a busy day for some already, Elaine.
Yes, that's right. Westminster has been something of a buzz today, and it's had something of a University Freshers' Week vibe here in Westminster too, with all these new MPs making new friends, being buddied up with others and getting their passes and being shown around, because it is a big place to get to know very quickly. Now, on a serious note, another MP, though, has had to make a call to the police, reporting an incident at his constituency at the weekend. MP Andrew Weston for Stretford and Urmston has spoken to the police and he's called for an end to abuse and intimidation in politics. But just as the first ever female Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, was making that ambitious announcement on housing, including the transformation of Liverpool Central Docks, some of her colleagues were actually struggling to get to Westminster for their first day as MPs because the Avanti West Coast trains were cancelled, and they shared that experience with weary commuters.
For far too long, far too many people, especially from Greater Manchester, have watched as their diaries have been blown up by cancellations and delays. And putting the customer experience first is going to be a really important priority going forward, I think.
Well, there were no stunts for the Liberal Democrats today, just applause for their leader after their best result in a century. And the region's two new MPs for Cheadle and Hazel Grove, well, they joined forces today to highlight what they say is the state of the buildings at Stepping Hill Hospital and called for action.
It came up on doorstep after doorstep after doorstep. Health and social care, by far and away the biggest concern of people in our communities, and of course we're going to work together and with any other neighbouring MPs who may agree with us and be fighting the same battles.
But we've heard nothing from the region's three Conservative MPs today. We're told they've been in meetings, but you will remember back in May when the election was called on the anniversary, the 7th anniversary of the Manchester Arena bombing, Figan Murray was left heartbroken after walking 200 miles here to Parliament, only for Parliament to be dissolved and without the introduction of Martin's Law. Today she had this message for the Prime Minister.
People can go out, enjoy themselves, whatever they do out and about, and still come home at night rather than be killed by terrorists. So, but you know what, it just feels right. I just hope it's going to be mentioned in the King's speech next week, so that would be incredible.
And it's up with the lark tomorrow morning for the region's mayors. They've been invited to a breakfast meeting at 7:30 with the Prime Minister at Downing Street. Steve Rotherham says that transformational scheme on Liverpool Docks is evidence that change is happening.
And these are real catalysts for much wider economic regeneration. And the governments have spoken about growth, and the way in which you can get growth is by investing in areas that already have plans.
Well, let's hope the mayors are, if they're travelling by train, that they've left and they're travelling tonight because they don't want to be late for that meeting. No surprise that transport will be top of the agenda at the breakfast meeting with the Prime Minister in the morning.
OK, Elaine, thank you. Well, next tonight, and more than a year ago, despite a hard-fought campaign involving actors such as Maxine Peake and Julie Hesmondhalgh, the Oldham Coliseum Theatre shut its doors.
Yeah, many supporters were really upset when a cut in funding by the Arts Council meant that the curtain came down on more than 100 years of history. Well, tonight there is good news. In the past few minutes, it's been announced that the Coliseum will reopen.
Here's our correspondent, Mel Barham, with the details.
It's a theatre with a long history, dating back to 1885. For more than a century, the Coliseum has been the jewel in Oldham's crown. But last year, the Arts Council England announced it was cutting funding, and the curtain came down for what was thought to be the final time. But of course, no theatre is without its encore. And after a year of campaigning led by former Corrie star Julie Hesmond-Hulge, the announcement today so many people had wanted to hear. The Coliseum will open again.
So welcome, welcome. This is very, very privileged position to be in because not many people have been in the space since she shut her doors in March 2023. But here she is.
And being here, Julie, I mean, what are the emotions that you're feeling just standing here now?
I can't begin to tell you what an incredible moment this is. And it's a moment we didn't think could happen.
The plan had been to close this theatre and build a new, smaller art centre across town. But reversing the decision, the leader of Oldham Council said they listened to locals.
It's just the right thing to do, and sometimes when you make decisions, you know, you have to lead with your finger on the pulse and do the right thing by people, and that's what we did. We listened.
This must be really quite emotional for you being in here today after this news.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing.
Jane was one of a group of locals who spearheaded this campaign.
Yeah, I sat upstairs in the circle when the curtain came down for the last time, and it was really, really emotional, and you just think, I'm never going to see anything here again. It makes me feel emotional now, but it's difficult to put into words, but I haven't taken a smile off my face since I heard the news.
This is not a boarded up building. It's a slumbering beauty, that's all, waiting for the people to kiss it awake.
This was the poem written by Julie that was part of the campaign, and for everyone involved it was important never to give up.
We kept going because it matters, and this actual auditorium feels like the beating heart of art and culture in this town, so it all comes from here, and if you move this somewhere else it's not the same.
The Coliseum has been a part of this community for so long. Now it's not just a part of Oldham's history, but also its future.
Yeah, a lot of very happy people tonight. We can now join Mel live in Oldham. Mel, what's happening there tonight?
Well, as you can see, they are gearing up for a really big celebration here tonight. A street party is going to be a live band, live performances, all to celebrate this news that we've just been able to break, that the Coliseum will reopen again. Well, one of the women who has spearheaded this Save the Coliseum campaign is the woman is Julie Hesmond-Hulge. Julie, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for being here. This is amazing.
We saw in my report there just how much this means to you, but this has been a really hard-fought battle, hasn't it?
It certainly has. It's been months and months of campaigning and meeting again, but here we are. I mean, I have to say that, you know, it's been part of the course for my life in the past few years to be a campaigner. I'm used to fighting and campaigning, but I'm not used to winning. So this is quite a new feeling for me. I can't quite believe it. And when Aruj said at the council meeting, when we discussed the possibility of it, save our Coliseum, change your name, you've saved it, we were like, that can't be true. So it's a really wonderful moment for everybody who's fought and campaigned so hard to save the beloved and historic theatre.
And we know that the plan is to open it, obviously, for Panto next year, but we've been inside, we've seen it's a bit of a shell, isn't it? There's no chairs in there. What needs to happen between now and next year to make this actually happen?
Well, the reopening of it will go over years and it'll be phased. But phase one is very much to open pretty much as is. Yes, the auditorium is a shell, it's been stripped of everything. But as you saw for yourself, it's in great nick, it's still looking lovely. All it needs is some seats, some lighting and some quite superficial stuff. It doesn't smell of damp after that brutal winter that we just lived through and this brutal spring and summer. So that's really encouraging. Eventually, there'll have to be a bit of a turnabout around the foyer and the backstage, the bar area, to make it more accessible for people with disabilities, but also getting it fit for the future. So there's a lot to be done, but we're really, really optimistic about it because with the will of the people, and sometimes, you know, when you've lost something, it makes you realise how much you miss it, and I think that everybody will get behind this now.
Brilliant. Well, enjoy the celebrations tonight,
so
Julie.
much.
Of course, this is not just an exciting opportunity and new chapter for the Coliseum, but also for Oldham. There's going to be a lot of very happy people here tonight.
Yeah, great to see Julie so happy. Thanks for that, Mel. We just need lots of local people to go along and support it when it does reopen. Thank you.
More news now, and the mother of Jay Slater has thanked the wonderful group of locals in Tenerife who volunteered to continue searching for her son. It's 3 weeks since the 19-year-old from Oswaldtwistle went missing after he went on a 3-day rave festival. There's been no sign of him since. He left an Airbnb in a remote part of the island.
And for a more in-depth look into the disappearance of Jay Slater, you can download the latest edition of our From the North podcast, which is available wherever you get your podcasts.
Burnley's new head coach, Scott Parker, says he'll put his heart and soul into getting the team promoted to the Premier League. The club suffered relegation to the Championship last season. The former England midfielder comes in after Vincent Kompany left to join Bayern Munich. He's twice led sides to promotion to the Premier League at Bournemouth and Fulham.
I will put my absolutely everything, heart and soul, in this job to get this club to the Premier League. And there will be no stone left unturned in terms of the work ethic, in terms of the team they're going to see.
Yeah, good luck, Tim. Well, next up, a celebration on the streets of Chester. A celebration which gave a voice to many people who often say that they feel ignored or misunderstood.
Yeah, hundreds of people have been taking part in the city's 4th annual Disability Pride Parade.
Anna Yosef was there for us.
It was a chance to party, make friends and celebrate being yourself, and everyone was welcome.
I'm proud of my disability and I want to show the world that I'm proud of my disability as well. I feel emotional because as an older disabled person, you know, I needed this when I was a teenager, so seeing young people here now getting what I didn't get, that means a lot to me as well.
The parade's all about having pride in disability and draws attention to the various challenges people face too.
I think it's good to celebrate different people with different disabilities and come together on a special day. I face challenges every day, but I never give up.
1 in 5 people in the UK live with a disability. Karen has a neurological condition which affects her mobility.
I think disabled people, for a variety of reasons, constantly meet barriers in society, and some of those are invisible to other people, and often they're actually disabled not by the disability but the lack of adjustments in society. So this kind of event really promotes celebrating people's difference and really encourages everybody to be more accepting, and hopefully with that sort of philosophy we'll be more passionate about breaking down those barriers.
The event was organised by Story House. The parade helped launch the centre's annual Kaleidoscope Festival, which celebrates neurodiversity.
I have learning difficulties, so every day can be a challenge, like cooking, reading, writing. I enjoy coming here with all my friends, making people aware that, you know, people with disabilities can do things like anybody else.
Making a difference just by being who you are. Anna Yosef, ITV News.
Well, now to a very special evening for an 81-year-old fan of the global superstar Shania Twain.
Yes, it came after Shania's team saw an item right here on Granada Reports featuring an interview with Ken Northall from Lancashire.
Yeah, Ken is what you might call a super fan.
Over the years, I think she's had 9 UK top 10s. She's had 2 UK #1 albums, and Come On Over has sold over 40 million copies. She's a class big artist.
Well, you may remember that Ken's travelled far and wide to see Shania in concert, but last week she played at Lytham Festival, which is very close to home.
So, of course, he was there. And while he was there, things took an unexpected turn.
You're not going to believe it, but we found Ken. Where is Ken? How can I meet Ken? Now don't get me. Yeah, I think you're all right. That won't keep me warm in the middle of the night.
I'm impressed.
It was a long time ago when I first started coming over here, and I want to say thank you for being with me all these years, Ken.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
And Ken is with us now. Ken, you were remarkably calm, given that you are a Shania Twain superfan. Just tell us what it was like meeting her.
Well, it was a one-in-a-lifetime moment, obviously. I had no prior knowledge to going to meet her. I was just in the crowd of 25,000 whatever, and all of a sudden Shania shouting out on stage for me, and it was a bit of a surreal moment, obviously. And then some people from the company who promote Lytham Festival, from Cuff and Taylor, they came to me and escorted me to the stage. And then all of a sudden I'm in the wings just walking on to meet Shania.
And was she everything that you thought she would be?
And more.
Really?
I mean, she immediately put me to my ease. She's very nice manner about her.
It's quite a skimpy outfit.
Oh, dear me. My wife was buttoning a jacket up and there's Shania stood in next to nothing.
What does your wife think about your relationship with Shania?
Well, she knows she's second place.
Oh, Elaine won't be happy with that.
No, I take that back.
You better.
My wife and kids have always come first, but as far as my music tendencies go, it's always been country music, and Shania in particular, and it's 25 years love affair so far.
Not everybody gets to say that they've been serenaded by their favourite music star. What was going through your mind as she was singing to you and talking to you on stage?
Well, the one thing I remember particularly was when she sang It Don't Impress Me Much. And there's the line in it, of course, that says, "Who do you think you are, Brad Pitt?" And she put my name in. So it's not often that Brad Pitt gets the boot.
And there you were in front of all those other thousands of fans. I mean, what was that like? They must have all wanted to be there, and it was you.
Well, yes, I mean, there's a lot of people who would have swapped places with me, no doubt. And I couldn't believe that I had virtually 10 minutes on stage.
And you've become a real superstar yourself on social media, haven't you?
Well, that's hard to cope with because I don't understand it, obviously. I'm not on social media. I don't do any of that. I've seen some things online, obviously, but the kids and grandkids have fed some of the lines that are involved. They think it's hilarious, of course. But I mean,
they're really proud of you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the reaction has been manic. I mean, I came off the stage, was escorted back into the crowd again, and when the performance finished, and we went outside into the street to go and get a taxi, which was about half a mile away, the whole crowd was walking up the street with me, and I just got mobbed everywhere.
Amazing.
People chanting Ken.
Amazing.
I forget how many young ladies were hung around my neck for selfies. It's never been like that.
I mean, you followed her around the world, and now she's played her in your back garden. Do you think you'll continue to follow her, or, you know,
I would
this
like
the
to
peak
correct
now?
that while I've got the chance. I haven't seen her in America. That was online, and I did see that. I tried to go and see her in America at the National Finals Rodeo when she was playing at Caesar's Palace, and it didn't happen. And this year, that perfect storm's happening again. Finals Rodeo, Vegas, she's on at Planet Hollywood.
Okay.
But we can't go because the insurance premium to cover my wife's cancer now is just too much to pay.
Okay, well, Ken, brilliant stuff, and you look like you had a fabulous time. So
All
thank
the
you.
very best to you and your wife, Elaine.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Ken.
Here's the weather.
Mum, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Hope you had a good start to the week, and I hope you made the most of any sunshine today, because it looks like summer eludes us for the rest of the week. In fact, some signs of autumn in the air tomorrow even. Yes, you heard correctly. So let's take a closer look at the detail. We're still on the wrong side of the jet stream, up to the north of it, and you can see that by these yellow and bluey green washes of hues there, that temperatures actually will remain a good 2 or 3 degrees below average for the time of year over the next few days. I think summer is confined to the south and southeasternmost parts of Europe. However, with temperatures there in the 30s and 40s, for most of us, it's probably still a bit too hot for comfort. So back to our part of the world again, though, now for the next few hours. Some late sunshine on offer, but quickly clouding up from the south, and this is where the big change comes about overnight. Cloud pulsing northward, some heavier rain arriving in Cheshire by tomorrow morning, also getting breezier during the early hours with the arrival of this system. But temperatures up by a good 10 degrees on last night, so much milder tonight than it was last night. Into Tuesday then, sun's up at 4:53, sets at 9:39, and it's a miserable, blustery start to the day. Grey and wet, gusts of 30-40 miles an hour over the higher ground of the North Pennines. However, it's not going to be windy all day, and later in the afternoon it also starts to dry up a little bit, but it will be feeling humid behind this system as it clears through, up to 22 at 72 Fahrenheit, quite close and muggy. And there could be 15 to 25 millimetres of rainfall within all of that, falling widely, 40 millimetres in 1 or 2 spots. After that, quite a lot of greyness and a few showers around on Wednesday. And although things start to dry off towards Thursday and Friday, the showers never too far away, and temperatures really don't recover right the way through the week. That's the way the weather's looking. Let's take a look at pollen.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
On then to the pollen report now. Quite high levels in the air at the moment, grass and nettle being the main contributors. As we head towards Friday, when things start to get drier, those counts will actually begin to increase. That's the way it's looking. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
So after a report on Ken the other day, I was saying how nice it would be if we could get him and Shania together, and lo and behold,
It
there you have
happens.
it.
A magic moment. Well done, Lytham Festival.
Bye-bye.
Bye.